friends! Welcome to episode 15 of Different Stages Radio. I'm JJ. Sorry for the delay in releasing this episode. Extended a long weekend for myself. It was kind of enjoyable. Saw some shows. That was good to get away. So with that, we're a day late. So thanks for hanging tight for this episode. Busy week. Busy. You just heard a threesome of some brand new material. You heard some new Tyrant of Ash from their brand new album, The Lowest Level. Before that, you heard some upcoming brand new King Kobra. Yes, King Kobra are back. They have an album called We Are Warriors coming out in September. You heard the track, We Are Warriors. This version of King Kobra, I guess, could you say fronted by Carmine? As far as kind of the only core King Kobra guy in there. So Carmine Appice, Carlos Cavazzo, Rowan Robertson, you might remember from Dio. They're all a part of the new King Kobra lineup. Started that set with some brand new Primal Fear, Deep in the Night, new album Code Red coming in September. So nice to run through some brand new material. Primal Fear, King Kobra, Tyrant. Yeah. We have another new contest that I will be announcing later in this episode, so stay tuned for that. The Steve Vai contest is still going on. He'll be playing at the Rickshaw Theatre in Vancouver on August 15th. You can find details regarding the contest on differentstagesradio.com. No purchase necessary. Must be 19 plus to go to the show. So keep that in mind. But on the topic of Steve Vai, maybe you already know this. The Vai album, Section Religion, celebrated a 30th anniversary this past week. So there's a rather large connection with that album, and for those that are from the Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada area, where myself is from. And it leads me to a story, because this was going to be a part of the show. I probably should have started it even more so in the first couple episodes, but it'll become more of a deal moving forward. And this is when it gets a bit awkward at times, because I know I have a lot of stories, and stories are a tough one at times, because I want to tell stories, but you get into that line of, I don't want to be like, oh, look at me, I met these people, I saw that show, blah, blah, blah. But they're stories, and it's fun to share these things, and it's nice to have something in the archives moving forward that can be referenced at. So it's nice to share things. And the Vai thing was a big deal. That was one of my earlier big deals, not just Steve Vai, but how Devin Townsend became a part of the Vai Section Religion album was a pretty big deal. Because back in, I started there in 92 through 94. I was working at a local record chain. Those that are from the area are probably very familiar with A&B Sound. It was a big-time record store that also sold stereo and TV equipment. But they were a big deal in Western Canada, through the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and kind of vanished in the early 2000s, mostly due to bad management, I think, not due to actual albums not selling. That's another topic. Anyways, at the time I was working at A&B Sound, I was there for about a year, and then they hired this guy who was a bit left field. His name was Devin Townsend, and got to know Devin while working with him, and he was quite the character, as he still is now. But good dude, funny dude, little over the top. At this point we're just, what was I then at that point? I was 20, and he's about a year older than me, or I was 19, 20. Anyways, we're working together, and I remember we're doing some section maintenance, and that would be, just making sure everything is nice and tidy, alphabetical order. I think we're putting some stuff on sale, that sort of thing, and just kind of laughing at some cover art and names of bands and that sort of thing, just being, obnoxious. Anyways, he knew that I was a big Vai fan, and he was only working for maybe a couple of months, if that, and he had mentioned to me, he said, oh, I sent in a tape to Steve Vai or Steve Vai's management to audition for this new thing that he's doing. And I can't even wrap my head around that part. And he's like, yeah, I mailed in a tape, and I'm hoping to hear something back. I'm like, okay, that sounds cool. And it's only maybe a few weeks or a month later, he lets me know, oh, I heard back, and they want me to go down to Los Angeles, I believe it was, for an audition. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm going to go down and I'm going to audition for Steve Vai's band. And I'm like, I didn't want to call bullshit on the guy, but it just seemed really hard to grasp. You know, this is pre-social media, and just the how would one even really go about contacting a band and management at that point unless you were really a direct part of the scene, if you will. So anyways, it just really was hard for me to go like, is this real? I didn't want to think it wasn't, but it just seemed really. So anyways, he's mentioning, oh, I need to go there at Christmas. Steve's going to fly me out. I'm going to go there. I think it was for a few days or maybe even a week. I think it was a few days, like 4 or 5 days. And I'm like, this is crazy. And he says, yeah, I'm going at Christmas. And I said, well, you can't go at Christmas, because that was one of the things at A&B, because their Christmas sales and Boxing Day sales were legendary. They let you know that when you were hired on, that if you wanted time off at Christmas, it just wasn't going to happen. So I said, they're not going to give you the time off. And he said, well, if they don't, then I guess I'm going to have to quit. And they ended up giving him the time, which was pretty impressive. I think just because it was pretty unique circumstances. So they were flexible that way. And Devin said, well, I'm going to be going. Do you want to give me a few things and I'll get some stuff signed for you? And again, I'm just like, I don't understand. He's going to go to Steve Vai? Like, what's this? So I say, thanks, but I'll pass. That's cool, but I'm good. Like, what? So anyways, he goes to California, and I'm thinking, well, he's probably not going to, I think he's done. Because I don't know if I knew at that point that he was actually still going to be employed, with A&B Sound letting him stay on for a bit longer. Anyways, he comes back. He works a few more shifts. And when he comes back, he's like, yeah, here's some, I think he had some Polaroids. Here's me at Steve Vai's place. Here's him and I jumping in a snowbank off of his deck. And actually, I think at one point, yeah, he might have flew to LA, and I think he went to Lake Tahoe, where Vai was, and Vai had a studio there. And there, anyways, I know I'm missing little parts of the story, but I remember there was these pictures of them jumping in snowbanks. And I'm like, I can't grasp this. This is insane. I'm like, okay. And he says, well, I know you didn't give me anything to get signed, but I brought you back a couple of pics. So I'm like, well, that's cool. So he gave me a couple Steve Vai pics, and this is wild. And then it was, a couple days later, he gets the call that he got the gig. And it was, what the hell? And then you fast forward 6 months, a year later, he's playing with Vai at the Commodore Ballroom in Vancouver, which, if you're not from the area, is a legendary room. It's been around for like 100 years. Classic, great venue. And they tore the roof down, and Vai's doing all this stuff off of, Passion Warfare. He was doing Sex and Religion stuff too, but, the flexible stuff, Passion Warfare. And Devin's just keeping up note for note with Vai like it's nobody's business. Just hilarious. Just good memories. And it was nice, and still to keep in touch with Devin throughout the years, through the Scrape Records experiences. That was my shop for nearly 20 years. Did many record signings with Devin. He did an acoustic show at the store, which was great. There was a midnight sale for for Ghost and Deconstruction. He came by and did that. One of the earlier band signings I did when I was working at HMV back in the day was for City, when Gene first joined the band. So to do the strapping one, so it's just to have all those periods and seeing and following pretty closely his career since that time is pretty cool. And if you haven't had a chance to look at, or if you don't follow Devin Townsend on Instagram, I highly recommend you do. Same with Steve Vai, because they both have put out really cool statements this past week regarding each other and reflecting on that time. Devin's in particular is a lot more in depth. There's a 3-part post that he's done that is really incredible and really, really well written. So I do quite recommend you go find that and read up on that. And don't forget, again, Steve Vai coming to town on August 15th in Vancouver. And check out for some free tickets on the differentstagesradio.com site. So there's my story. Thank you for listening. I'll do a bit more blabbing later, but I'm going to do a big burn through a bunch of stuff now. But we're going to start with double shot of Vai. One of the tracks, the first one, this was a B-side from the Down Deep Into the Pain single. This is Just Cartilage on Different Stages Radio.
Shut up, we know you can play. Thank you. Thanks. All right. numb. Right now. Yeah, they're numb. Because I deprived my brain of oxygen.
Sweet, but that's a pain to pick this one, my precious. I await and fear the unknown. I await and fear the unknown. I await and fear the unknown. I await. See the light conceived awaiting. She'll meet our world pursuing harmony. But with her gaze, will she see someone prepared? The die is cast, pure blood hand unto me. She'll need a hand to grasp. Can I believe? Father, be deceased by clouded reason. Will damaged ways pass on to who you'll be? Stained in my mind, will I feel nothing replaced? Am I a fraud, rejected I would be? She needs my open arms, can I believe? Father, be
Welcome back to Different Stages Radio. Very enjoyable to play you some brand new Evile there. That was the title track from the Unknown album. The track was The Unknown. Just came out last week on Napalm Records, so check out some brand new Evile. Before that, some Vicious Rumors for the first time on Different Stages Radio. You heard Dust to Dust from the Welcome to the Ball album. That just celebrated an anniversary last week, or a couple days ago. Yeah, July 19th, 91. Welcome to the Ball was released. So happy 32nd anniversary to Vicious Rumors. Welcome to the Ball. And then started that set off with a double shot of Vi, bit of a tribute to Steve Vai and Devin Townsend in acknowledgement of the 30th anniversary of Sex and Religion. You heard Dirty Black Hole from Sex and Religion, and you heard Just Cartilage, which was a B-side to the Down Deep Into the Pain CD single, and I think it was on the 12-inch single as well, but definitely the CD single. And a little other piece of trivia you may not know. I was thinking about this after, so thanks for listening to my story regarding the Vi. And I believe Steve Vai, because it wasn't, he went as far as, because that was under the Vi moniker, just the last name. He wanted that to be separate from the Steve Vai albums, because I believe, the story was that he wanted it to be more of a band thing rather than just him and some other select players. Like, he really wanted it to be a band. And if the story is true, which is something he's used a lot on different things, I know, I think one of the pics I have even has it on it, and he references that inside in the notes, Light Without Heat, which I believe, if memory serves me correctly, was originally what he was wanting that project and band to be called. Not even necessarily the name of the album, but it was actually going to be called the band Light Without Heat. But Relativity, the label that he was on, was concerned about it not being sellable and marketable as much without Steve Vai's name on it. So the deal was, okay, well, we'll call it Vi rather than Steve Vai and meet partway. So there's some trivia if you're not aware of that. If I got some of that wrong, which I can do, I am far from perfect. So if I'm making errors, which is going to happen, I know, please let me know. And you can do it in a cool way rather than, JJ, what were you thinking? You said this, but it was actually that. Hey, they're stories, sometimes they're opinions, sometimes they're facts, but I'm not claiming to be the gospel. There's my little spiel there. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. You know the band Perfect Plan? I played them a few episodes ago. Well, I'm going to play you a track from this singer's upcoming solo album. This is Kent Hilly, Different Stages Radio.
lies against the truth, and there's no sign of surrender.
Get ahead. Hours, days, and weeks I've bled. Turn up the radio, engage the cruise control. The sun will rise again. Turn up the radio. With last this song I know. You can't hurt me this time. I'm prepared for anything. You won't get that close now. I'm protected from your lies, knowing what you will bring me, knowing that I want no more. When the snow was falling, I could see your footprints right outside my window. You were watching all night long, standing there in the shadows, whispering my name in your spell. Won't fall again, I won't be fooled. This time my heart is strong. You are standing right before the master of sorrow. I won't feel again, so far no more. This time my heart is cold. You are standing right before the master of sorrow. Yeah, I am the master of sorrow. Feels like yesterday now. I can see it all so clear. You were close and whispered, it's you and me that count right now. I thought that the voice I was hearing was so completely sincere. Years have passed since that day. My morning has come to an end. I know you're still out there, regretting the choices that you made. I won't follow you
Welcome back. A rare six-pack for you on Different Stages Radio. You just heard the Dead Daisies, Cascade, from their last album, Radiance, featuring Glenn Hughes on vocals, who's not in the band anymore, but John Corabi is back in the band, and they'll be coming to Vancouver September 2nd at the Hollywood Theatre, and there will be, I'll have some information further about that momentarily, so stay tuned for that. Before that, played some Hurricane for the first time on the show. You heard Next to You from their 1990 album, Slave to the Thrill, that just celebrated anniversary this week. So happy 33rd anniversary to Hurricane's Slave to the Thrill. And there is some brand new Hurricane music coming, and I will play you a track next week's show. So stay tuned for some brand new Hurricane next week. Before that, also celebrating a 33rd anniversary, Winger, In the Heart of the Young. Yes, Winger. Of course, they get spins on the show, but this was for a good reason, because it's an anniversary album. You heard Under One Condition. For me, one of the unsung tracks from that album. Also, of course, Rainbow and the Rose, which I was about to do as well. But yeah, there's good stuff on that record, so check out In the Heart of the Young. Before that, some wanted to acknowledge Sir Russell Allen. You know him primarily from Symphony X, also from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. You may also know him from the Allen Land projects, Russell Allen and Jorn Land. And I spun a track from the Allen Land album, The Revenge, primarily a Jorn vocal experience on that, but great track, Master of Sorrow, and wanted to celebrate and acknowledge happy 52nd birthday to Russell Allen on July 19th. He hit 52. He's a deck of cards. There you go. Before that, some Ryan, some brand new stuff on Frontiers label. You heard We Ride from the album Wings. And that six-pack started with Kent Hilly, lead vocalist from The Perfect Plan, or Perfect Plan. You heard Nothing Left to Lose from the album Nothing Left to Lose. Okay. So, I mentioned Dead Daisies. I mentioned I had some more information. That's regarding the contest. Contest time. Go to differentstagesradio.com. There's a contest and giveaway tab. You will find information on how you can win yourself a pair of tickets to see Dead Daisies, the Dead Daisies, in Vancouver at the Hollywood Theatre, September 2nd, courtesy of our lovely friends at F7 Entertainment Group, being very supportive to the broadcast. So, no purchase necessary. The same group at F7 being so courteous as well, giving us tickets, which we mentioned earlier, Steve Vai contest. And there will be future contests, courtesy of F7 Entertainment Group. So big shout out to them for supporting Different Stages Radio. I will be posting those details ASAP. So if you're listening to this within hours of the show being out, the links might not be on the site. So please refresh your page. It will be there by the 27th of July. All the details will be up for that. So good luck winning some Dead Daisies tickets. But the Steve Vai contest, you can enter right now. Okay, moving on. So I was meaning to mention earlier that I'm going to do a bit of a twist on this week's Indie Spotlight. And it's going to be a bit of a lead up to, I'm going to forecast, going to jump a bit ahead, backwards, forwards. I'm going to play you two bands, well, a band and a solo artist that have been on labels that currently have some newer material in the process. I'm guessing maybe looking for some labels, looking for some distro, looking for some management, maybe some extended, people involved. The first one I'm going to play you, and then we'll talk about the second one after. But the first one being Kickaxe. Yes, Kickaxe. They are back. Well, they never went anywhere, but they're still, they play often. Some may say they should play more. I agree, but they play, which is great. Kickaxe, big fan. I've always been a big fan of Kickaxe, and I'm always really excited and blindsided by the fact that they dumped out a new track last week. Yeah, Blackout Crazy, new track from Kickaxe. So they've been supportive with sharing information that we've been spreading on our socials and on the website. So thanks to Kickaxe for that. So I want to play you the brand new Kickaxe track, and then I'm gonna follow it up with something else from the area. You can wait and see what that is. But somebody who has a couple new tracks out that I haven't spun yet on the show, so I want to touch on that. And then I'll fill you in on what I was going to say before. That's going to be a lead up to something that's going to be happening the first week of August on the show. You with me? You still there? For now, here's some Kickaxe. This is Blackout Crazy. This is Different Stages Radio.
as a rolling sea, while your head was sinking below the wave. When I took your hand, I could feel the land, but you left my heart dying on the sand. What the hell is wrong with you anyway? Oh, you were like a falling star. You burned up in the end. Your little flashing light was pretend. So remember me as a rolling sea, while your head was sinking below the wave. When I took your hand, I could feel the land, but you left my heart dying on the sand. What the hell is wrong with you anyway? You send others from what the hell is wrong with you anyway? No currency. How can we just throw it all away? Mistakes that you made. What the hell is wrong with you? Nothing and nowhere. The waves wash you over. It's over, it's over, it's over, it's over. So remember me as a rolling sea, while your head was sinking below the wave. When I took your hand, I could feel the land, but you left my heart dying on the sand. So remember me as a rolling sea, while your head was sinking below the waves. When I took your hand, I could feel the land, but you left my heart dying on the sand. So remember me as a rolling sea, while your head was sinking.
Welcome back to Different Stages Radio. Bit of a different take on this week's edition of the Indie Spotlight. You heard some brand new Chrissy Steele. Yeah, Chrissy Steele is back. Unrequited Remember Me single is out now. Do you remember Chrissy Steele? I sure do. She put out that magnificent album, Magnet to Steel, that was put together with Brian Too Loud McLeod. If you're from the Vancouver area, or if you're Canadian, you know Brian extremely well from his time with Chilliwack and Headpins. Brian's a big deal in the British Columbia area and also Canada-wide, worldwide. And he was very much a spearheader behind Chrissy Steele's debut album, Magnet to Steel. And it's great to hear that Chrissy is back, and she's got some new material out there for you all to listen to. So I highly recommend you go check out some Chrissy Steele. And for now, as far as I know, she would be, I guess, indie. So I thought, why not throw that in it as part of the Indie Spotlight? Same with the brand new Kickaxe track I played you before that, Blackout Crazy. And a bit of a tie-in there with Brian Too Loud McLeod, because he also worked with Kickaxe. So you got Kickaxe and Chrissy Steele connected, both Kickaxe and Chrissy Steele being now British Columbia based. I believe Chrissy always was, but Kickaxe back in the day, Saskatchewan band. But all, the guys are spread around BC. So with that, I'm going to let you know in advance that coming up on the first Monday in August, where's my little calendar there? The August, which is in our parts, the August BC Day long weekend. That'll be August 7th. So I'm going to put out that day a BC Day special that's going to be, I'm looking at 50 tracks of BC artists that I quite enjoy. And the two you heard, Chrissy Steele and Kickaxe, will definitely be a part of the BC Day special, along with many other artists, signed and unsigned. Should be a nice thing to do, a nice thing to spin. So keep your ears and eyes tuned for the Different Stages Radio BC Day special coming to you August 7th on the broadcast. We move on. Click, click. Okay, I think we need to get a bit heavy. You think we need to get a bit heavy? We're going to get a bit heavy. Here's the other angle of Different Stages Radio. Here's a band. Yes, here's a band that will be doing some shows very soon, performing this 1997 album in its entirety. Yes, Whiplash. And why Whiplash, you may say? Well, one of the biggest metal albums of all time. You can argue, but Kill 'Em All is definitely up there as one of the biggest metal albums of all time. The first official release album from Metallica, Kill 'Em All, released 40 years ago this past week. Kill 'Em All is 40 years old. I know, 40 years. And 2 episodes ago, so that'd be episode 13, I did played some tracks from the No Life Till Leather demo that was done the year before in 1982. So a year later, the full version, proper release, Kill 'Em All was unveiled. And I played you a rough mix of Whiplash from the Fancy Pants edition of the Kill 'Em All box set that has so many bells and whistles, DVDs, vinyl, picture discs, demos, live tracks, interviews. And this disc alone, as I'm looking at it, you got Motor Breath rough mix, you got Hit the Lights rough mix, Anesthesia Pulling Teeth rough mix, other stuff on there. There's alternate versions of Phantom Lord and Seek and Destroy, Jump in the Fire. Yeah, 4 Horsemen. Good times, Metallica, Kill 'Em All. Happy 40th. How do you not spin that? You have to. It's essential. So Kill 'Em All, 40 years. And then got a bit heavy. I wanted to play some Satyricon the last few weeks, so I did that today. Always have a spot for Satyricon. Good dudes. I played you Blood Cracks Open the Ground from Deep Calleth Upon Deep. And before that, some Enslaved from the Eld album. I'm going to give it a shot here. Can I say it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Horda Lendingen? Horda Lendingen from the Eld album, 1997. Enslaved are going to be performing the Enslaved album Eld. Yes, their own album Eld, from front to back on their upcoming date at the Beyond the Gates Festival in Bergen coming up. So thought you might be interested in some Enslaved. Okay. Our friends at Heavy Psych Sound, they like to send us some demos and some upcoming releases, which is pretty cool. And I've been discovering some bands that I didn't know about otherwise. So I'm going to play you one now without even any mention, and we can talk about it later. This is Different Stages Radio. There you go, friends. A double shot of some kind of doomy rock. You heard Fire Down Below, the track California from their upcoming album Low Desert Surf Club, coming out September 8th. Again, the band is Fire Down Below. Not to be confused with the Riot album, Fire Down Below, but the band is called Fire Down Below. The track was California. The album Low Desert Surf Club, being pimped through heavy psych sounds. Same with Moon Coven was the band that I opened that first set with. The track you heard was Behold the Serpent from the album Sun King, coming out in August. So good to play some new stuff that I didn't know about beforehand. Maybe you didn't know about beforehand. That Fire Down Below album, too, might be of interest to you to know that Nick DeSalvo from Elder, frontman from Elder, he produced that album. So little tidbit of information for you. So as I'm about to wrap up the show, I wanted to mention a couple things. We're getting some really cool listeners. I'm seeing more of the insights. Want to give a shout out to our overseas listeners in Germany. There's a mitt full of you that are listening, and I appreciate that. So shout out to Germany. Shout out to listeners in the Ukraine. Thank you so much for listening. Same goes for the Czech Republic. Thank you for listening to Different Stages Radio. So before I go, I'm JJ. I host the show every week. If you're brand new, whatever, reminding you all the time. I know you've heard the spiel, but maybe you're brand new, you don't know. All the episodes are backed up. They're available to stream or download. You can find us now on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Player FM. You can find us, of course, on the differentstagesradio.com site. Every episode is streamable. Every episode is downloadable. All the shows are archived. Set list for every show you can find on differentstagesradio.com, along with links to third parties to purchase the albums that you hear, and those purchases directly support Different Stages Radio, helping with hosting, helping with advertising, helping with maintaining gear, all those things. And then hopefully maybe lunch at some point. How about that? So any support you can do towards those, and you also, again, you get something in return too. You get product. So how about that? So thanks again to people in Germany. Of course, we got a buttload of Canadians. We got a nice core of Americans as well. And we'll get this thing spreading some more. So also another place you can listen to is on Podbean. They have a free app. You can access the shows through that. And for our Canadian listeners, shows episode 14 has appeared on YouTube. Hopefully it stays there, because sometimes licensing things get weird. So it appears so far 14 is going up. I'll be uploading this episode afterwards. Hopefully it takes, but it could be a regional thing. So listeners in Canada appears at this point will be able to access the shows moving forward. I don't know if previous ones, if I'll be able to get them up there. But since the show, I do pay licensing fees. This isn't just even though it's a bit of a basement operation, I want to make sure that the bands are being compensated and the show is being done right. So if you're new to the show, I pay licensing fees in order to do this show. So again, when you're purchasing albums or you're purchasing anything through the Different Stages Radio site, or even my former site, and which is still up and running, tons of product on there too, scraperecords.com. scraperecords.com. All that stuff supports the station and supports living. How about that? So, okay, enough of the spiels. All new episode coming on its regular time next Tuesday. Apologies again for this one being a day late, but it's out. And I'm going to wrap up this week with something different. Bass player, Bryan Beller. Do you know him? Really good bass player. He plays with the Aristocrats. He's also been a touring bass player for Joe Satriani for a number of years. Really great player. He's also in Death Clock, so you'll probably see him on tour this fall doing that. He has a few solo albums out. There's one that I just got last year that I thought was a brand new release, but it turned out it came out in 2019. I was snoozing. The album is Scenes from the Flood. It's a double CD. I picked it up at the Aristocrats show, so it's nice to support the artist directly when you can. Really nice package, nice big thick double digi, and a lot of really cool variety on it. I thought it'd be cool to have some of his previous albums. Good stuff, but this one was like, wow, This is like exceptionally good. And there was one track in particular that I just found just crushing. So heavy in a non-typical heavy way, because I don't feel that you have to be evil and fast and muddy to be heavy. There's many ways you can be heavy, and I find this is one of those tracks that's extremely heavy. Probably as heavy as that fire engine or police car you hear coming. Do you hear it? I need some better soundproofing. Anyways, Bryan Beller, the album is Scenes from the Flood. I'm going to close out today with a track called Angles and Exits. That's Angles and Exits. Absorb it. Headphones if you can. This is a good tune. Just to give that kind of closeout deal. It's heavy. I'm telling you, it's heavy. So here we go, Bryan Beller. Thanks for listening. I'm JJ. This is Different Stages Radio. We will see you next week.
Rushing back to
stand still.